and welcome to the Outlook for Some Days Story Premiere 2018. I'm Deb Banan, this is Redcarpetnz.tv, and we're here at Hoyts Sylvia Park. What was the vision behind your film?
We really just wanted to do a film that was kind of an ode to our Māori men.
I did all the things that typical Māori 8-year-olds do, but then there was this element of fear and alcohol abuse and drug abuse and also physical abuse that was inside of the home.
A lot of the time you, in the media, see quite negative things about Māori and about men in particular, and we just wanted to celebrate them. So it's really a quite simple story about celebrating our Māori men. Some of the biggest challenges we encountered were definitely time. Of course money, it's always the way, isn't it? But yeah, there was nothing that was too stressful, to be honest, that was within our control. So Josh, who is the subject of I Am Waru, he's my oldest cousin, and I realised I didn't know a lot about him. I had no idea that a lot of this stuff went on. Yeah, it was a really nice way to reconnect with family. By far, the biggest highlight of the I Am Waru journey was adrenaline. So if you do see I Am Waru, there is a young actor. I think he's like 6, and he just steals the show. He is absolutely incredible, and he was my highlight for sure. So yeah.
And working with a mentor, what was that like?
It was as much like working in a real production. So with a senior producer or an executive producer, it was a really good support system. It was a really good creative partnership, I guess. Yeah, so it was great. The platform Outlook for Some Days Stories, it's a phenomenal platform. I mean, it's kind of, when you start out in any career, there's that kind of dilemma of you need experience, but you can't get experience because how do you get a job? I was lucky to already be working in the industry, but not making my own content. So providing a platform for up-and-coming filmmakers is kind of the future of film and TV, isn't it? So keep going with it.
So what advice would you have for someone out there wanting to make a film and joining Some Days Stories journey?
Oh, 100% apply for Some Days Stories. I didn't even think I was going to get it. No matter what the barriers, just do it.
The vision behind the film was to really create something really hopeful and inspiring, and a really truthful account of the emotional journey of what it is like to live with an eating disorder.
We were at the checkout and we sneakily put 2 Kit Kat Chunkies behind the other groceries. My friend's mum turned to us and said, "A moment on your lips, but forever on your hips, don't forget that." I was 8 years old.
I felt like a lot of existing content around eating disorders really focused on a lot of negatives that weren't really constructive or useful for those either struggling or the education of the general public of how to talk about and how to treat people with eating disorders. So I really wanted to change that stigma and unearth some of the shame and make it okay to talk about it.
What did I learn about myself was that it's good to be open about things that you struggle with, around mental health specifically. It's good to talk to people when you need help, and there shouldn't be shame around that, about certain ways that we feel, and it's good to break down the stigma around that, around the personal shames that we have around what we can and can't talk about.
Yeah, there was definitely a few challenges. I think anything that you make around mental health, particularly eating disorders, as soon as you put it on film, there's the danger of glamorizing it, which is a real danger because you don't want to make it look like this shiny, beautiful thing. So that was always, I think, a big challenge that we had to face. It was also a multi-protagonist short documentary, which was very challenging to get an emotional journey because, we're used to seeing one character and really investing in them. But in this documentary, there's 7 of us, 7 people, featured in it. So that was quite a challenge in the editing to weave the stories together to have a coherent journey. I would absolutely recommend Someday Stories. It's an amazing opportunity as a young filmmaker. I'm 23 years old, to be put in charge of a budget, to have the resources to really fulfill your vision and create something that you want to say. It was just amazing to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I totally think it's an awesome thing for young filmmakers to get involved. It's an awesome platform for young people to give money willingly to unknowns who have an awesome story to tell. I think if people want to get started, get your cell phone out. Those film in awesome qualities, learn how to light a scene and give it a go.
Juliet Weber was my mentor, and I could not have done it without her. I mean, her project, some of the work that she's done, Conversations with Teen Mums, check it out, it's absolutely amazing. But she was there every step of the way. I mean, I had never made a documentary before, so I honestly don't know what we would have done without her. She was fantastic.
What was the vision behind your film?
We had a lot in mind. We talked a lot about the films that we both enjoyed, which had a background of magic realism often. So basing ideas around the environment and the importance of the environment and bringing that into magic realism.
When I was little, my sister used to try and catch them for me so I could make a wish.
A wish?
Hurry! Hurry! Hurry!
It's about a single mother and her daughter living slightly in the future when the land has become very harsh, and this puts a huge strain on their relationship. So it's about rebuilding that relationship.
Well, definitely learn kind of how to work within a team and manage people and kind of really follow the idea and make sure that is the thing that pushes the whole team forward and everyone has a singular vision.
They were really supportive. They had a mentor. Catherine was amazing. She was it was a dream come true working with her. She was so supportive and had so much knowledge and knew when to let us just go and make the necessary mistakes and give it a go, which was cool.
The best part is doing it with other people and having a team around you.
If you think that you might be interested in doing it, you should just go for it and do it.
So our vision was to tell this story, which is a very classic immigrant story, but through a child's eyes. What was interesting about Someday Stories was they kind of come into the whole thing it's a full process, and they're there with you every step of the way. So they're not just a distributor, they're also, they commission you and then they talk about your script and they give you feedback on things like that. So it was really good having that as a young filmmaker, and this is my first funded thing, so it was good having a group of people who could tell you how best to use your resources.
I learned lots of things, but especially how hard being a main role is, and I had lots of experience and it was really nice.
It's great to be able to work on a film that is about a personal story when the person is involved. It's quite an unusual situation, but also to be able to, experience or portray an experience through our viewpoints, but relating to her story is quite special.
We found Oscar really, really helpful, especially during the story writing process. He gave us a lot of feedback, and we've changed our story entirely several times. We've reworked it, and it's been amazing to see where it started from to what we got it to.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it, especially to anyone just starting out. It's a great kind of training ground for them. So yeah, yes.
This film is a satire of conversion therapy. So the idea that you can scream and emotionally abuse someone to turn them straight.
Woo. Modern Mutt Motel, this is Grace speaking.
I'd like to book him in for the full service. He is gay.
I think one of the things we thought about with conversion therapy is that it was not such a big thing in New Zealand, or that it's an American problem, but especially if you've seen it came out recently, there's been some stories about it where it's actually like it is a thing that happens here. It's a thing that's still legal here. Yeah, I think Someday Stories is a really, really good initiative for young filmmakers, especially because it's only first time funded and they give you a lot of support and they're really open and really approachable people to work with. Yeah, so I'd encourage anyone to give it a go.
Our mentor, Nadia Maxwell, who is our mentor for Someday Stories, basically she just was a great partner who was the person that we could go to when we were very worried at times or when we weren't sure what the right thing was to do or not. And she was kind of an impartial person that could just kind of give us a good pep talk or give us a good pat on the back when we need it and point us in the right direction. Well, surprisingly, the biggest challenge wasn't dogs. We have 8 dogs in the movie, and we have an amazing professional actor pug named Arnie, and we have an amazing team of dog trainers who, when you've got such great people working on it, that didn't really turn out to be a problem. So it's just kind of normal filmmaking difficulties of not having enough time, budget, having a really big idea and trying to work out how to get it to fit in 10 minutes.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the concept of the Outlook for Sundays, the platform?
The Outlook for Sunday is a sustainability film project for young people. It's been going for 12 years. It's sort of evolved into a 3-stage talent development pathway. Someday Stories is the third sort of tertiary stage of that. If you're an emerging young filmmaker who wants to have a budget to make a film, to make your first professional foray into filmmaking, this is your place.
And how does someone apply?
We put out a request for proposals around December, and then we're just looking for proposals, looking for something, 6 short films, looking at sustainability in all sorts of ways, and we commissioned the 6 in January.
Wow, and so tonight is a premiere for these 6 films, and then from there that you can see them elsewhere, that's right?
You'll be able to see them at Stuff, you'll be able to see them at Māori Television On Demand, the Wireless, and of course our own outputs, our website, theoutlookforsomeday.net, and our Facebook page. Well, I'm really appreciative that we've got another screen partner on this year. We've got Stuff, which is really amazing, and again the support of the Wireless, Māori Television On Demand, and the Coconut, which is great. So I'm stoked that they're here and supporting us again, and of course the financial support of the Body Shop, New Zealand Film Commission, New Zealand On Air, and Te Mangai Paho makes it happen.